Hello and welcome to my latest career video. Now in this career video we are adding another light heavyweight fighter in. Okay, is former champion Jack Delaney. So let us go through the main career opponents of Jack Delaney. Now Delaney fought the great Tommy Loughran on 2 occasions and was unbeaten against him, scoring 1 win with 1 draw. He also fought the Astoria Assassin, okay, another former light heavyweight champion, Paul Berlenbach. Okay, he fought him on 4 occasions, scoring 3 wins with 1 loss. Now, one former light heavyweight champion who we couldn't seem to beat was Jimmy Slattery. Jack Delaney fought Slattery on 2 occasions, losing both fights. He did, however, also twice beat Theodore Tiger Flowers, of course, the Southpaw former middleweight champion, before also holding 2 wins over former coloured middleweight champion Jamaica Kid. Next up are 2 more light heavyweight champions, okay, that Jack Delaney beat in singular fights. The first was Mike McTeague, and the second was the great Maxi Rosenblum himself. So already beating Rosenblum and Loughran, Flowers, these are great names to beat. He then also in his career fought Jack Sharkey, okay, the former heavyweight champion, suffering a defeat, and then a huge run of singular wins followed. The first was against tough contender Bert Kalima. He then also defeated the capable Frank Moody, also defeating former middleweight top 10 contender Allentown Joe Gans, before also holding win over Tony Marullo. The next name on here is young Bob Fitzsimmons, okay, another former contender. Jack Delaney fought him in a singular fight, scoring a win. And then he fought the Cleveland Rubberman, okay, the multiple Hall of Fame beating Johnny Risco. Jack Delaney fought Risco on 2 occasions, scoring 1 win with 1 loss. And then the final name on this first slide is former top 10 heavyweight contender Quinton Romero Rojas, who Jack Delaney also defeated in a singular fight. So there's the first slide of main opponents for Jack Delaney. Some very good names on there, some good contenders on there, many good wins on there. In fact, the only 2 fighters he didn't hold a win over on that slide were Jack Sharkey and Jimmy Slattery, but he also, like I said, defeated Loughran, Berlenbach, Flowers, McTeague, Rosenblum, Allentown, Joe Gans, Johnny Risco, so lots of good wins as well. So let us go on to his second slide for career opponents. Jack Delaney fought former contender Bud Gorman, okay, gaining a win. He then lost in a singular fight to Jim Maloney, before also holding wins over 2 more top 10 heavyweight contenders. The first was the Spanish heavyweight Paulino Uzcudun, and the second was top 10 heavyweight contender Jack Reno. Next up, he fought and lost to Tom Heaney. Now, Tom Heaney, of course, was Gene Tunney's second heavyweight title defence following his first defence in the rematch with Dempsey, and people always say, "Oh, he fought a bum in his last fight." Actually, Tom Heaney wasn't a bum. He was a top 10 heavyweight contender who Gene Tunney fought, but still not a great name from the time, but still a top 10 legitimate heavyweight contender. So next up is Cowboy Jack Willis. Okay, Jack Delaney defeated him, and then he had 2 fights with the excellent middleweight contender Jack McCarron, scoring 1 win and getting 1 draw. He then also defeated Lou Bogash, another excellent fighter, before having a 2-fight series with a guy who gave Harry Greb a very difficult fight one time, Augie Ratner. Now, Jack Delaney scored 1 win and 1 loss against Ratner. He also held a win over Italian Joe Gans, the well-travelled contender who fought a who's who of many best fighters of his time, before then also holding 2 wins over Jackie Clark, another well-travelled fighter. And closing out his account is a loss, okay, in a singular fight, former middleweight contender Brian Downey. So there's 38 fights highlighted there for Jack Delaney, okay. He scored 27 wins with 9 losses and 2 draws from those 38 fights. So going on for Delaney, onto the first of his stat slides. Delaney scored 43 knockouts in his career, 23 knockouts in 3 rounds or less, and 5 knockouts in the first round. Now, Delaney scored 7 KOs against champions. He scored 4 against Hall of Famers and 4 against pound for pounders. Delaney also scored 10 KOs against rated opponents in his career. And in terms of rounds boxed, Delaney fought a total of 623 professional career rounds. He fought 33 title fight rounds, and he fought totals of 98 rounds against champions, 89 against Hall of Famers, and 88 rounds against pounders. Now, Delaney doesn't have full rating information, but he's pretty much got the largest chunk of his career. So Jack Delaney fought 209 rounds against top 10 rated fighters. He fought a total of 135 rounds against top 3 fighters, and he fought 71 rounds against ring champions. Of course, when I go to the eras, when I eventually get to the eras past the 1930s, everyone will have full rating information, so we'll have accurate numbers for all of the fighters featured, pretty much. So, on to our next slide. Okay, this slide is the slide against champions. Now, Delaney had 15 fights against champions with a record of 10 wins, 4 losses and 1 draw. And individually, he defeated 6 champions. They were Tommy Loughran, Paul Berlenbach, Tiger Flowers, Jamaica Kid, Mike McTeague and Maxi Rosenbloom. And from those 6 champions, he scored inside distance wins against 4 of them. Paul Berlenbach, Tiger Flowers, Jamaica Kid and Mike McTeague. So there's a slide on champions. When we go on to the Hall of Fame slide, okay, he has 12 fights against Hall of Famers Jack Delaney, including 7 wins, 4 losses and 1 draw. He defeated 4 individual Hall of Famers, Tommy Loughran, Paul Berlenbach, Tiger Flowers and Maxi Rosenbloom, and from those 4 Hall of Famers he stopped 2 of them, Paul Berlenbach and Tiger Flowers. So on to the pound for pound category. Delaney had 11 fights against pound for pound fighters, scoring 7 wins, 3 losses and 1 draw. He defeated 4 individual pound for pounders. Yes, Paul Berlenbach, Tiger Flowers, Tommy Loughran and Maxi Rosenbloom, and he scored stoppages over 2 of them, Paul Berlenbach and Tiger Flowers. So there's the main opponent breakdowns of a Champions Hall of Famers and pound for pounders for Jack Delaney. Of course, like I've always said, on some videos like this they'll be very similar across all 3. On other videos they'll have pound for pounders who were never champions or Hall of Famers. They'll have Hall of Famers who weren't champions. You know, it depends on the fighter in his career. So let's go on to our next slide, okay, on this Jack Delaney video, and it's rated opponent, and for once I'm not saying all zeros. Okay, Jack Delaney had 27 fights against rated fighters with a record of 19 wins, 7 losses and 1 draw. Delaney had 17 fights against top 3 rated fighters, including 10 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, and he also had a total of 8 fights against ring champions, including 5 wins, 2 losses and 1 draw. So Jack Delaney with, you know, a largest, I'm looking for a word, the bulk of his career being in the rating era. Okay, defeated 16 individual rated fighters, and he also scored knockouts over 8 of those 16 rated fighters individually. So, on to title fight record slide. Jack Delaney had 3 world title fights. He scored 2 wins with 1 loss and no draw from those 3 title fights. Jack Delaney also made 1 title defense and scored 1 title fight KO. Now, Delaney, okay, with a limited number of title fights, scored 1 win against a top 10 fighter, 1 win against a top 3 fighter, and 1 win against a ring champion. Now, Delaney scored 2 wins against champions in title fights, 1 win against Hall of Famers and 1 win against pound for pounders in title fights. So on we go to our final slide, the titles 1 slide, and for Delaney, okay, the world title he captured was the world light heavyweight title. Jack Delaney was also lineal light heavyweight champion of the world and undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. So a fighter from more the 1910-1930 era, Jack Delaney, larger bulk of his career, had ratings available, so therefore we get more of a fuller view of the figures across the slides rather than many in pre-rating era that are a lot of zeros. But there's Jack Delaney. He'll join my light heavyweight playlist. You know, I'll be back soon with more videos. I am the Boxing Librarian and I'm out for now.